Hey folks, welcome back to I Can See It. You're all in, right? You're picturing a future with them, making sacrifices, going the extra mile, maybe even setting aside your own dreams, because for you, their happiness comes first. They tell you they love you, yet they're treating you like an afterthought. They forget your words, overlook the plans you've made together, and somehow, despite all that, they still say they care. It's like you're living in a paradox where their words say one thing, but their actions tell a different story. Have you ever wondered if they truly love you, or if they're just keeping you around because it's convenient? Maybe they're not as invested as you are, or maybe they're just holding on to something that's no longer there. And what if you're trying to attract someone new and they're ignoring you? The feeling of being overlooked can feel intense, especially when you're putting in effort to make a genuine connection. But here's the thing, sometimes their distance has nothing to do with your worth. And we are going to discuss everything today, so stay with me. We're diving deep into this confusing push-pull dynamic, exposing what's really going on beneath the surface. So, go ahead and hit that like button if you're ready to uncover the truth behind their mixed signals and get the clarity you deserve. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to interpret their actions and what steps to take for yourself. Stick around, you won't want to miss this. So folks, let's get real. If someone genuinely loves you, there might be a few reasons they're pulling back or ignoring you, and I'm about to break down the top 3 in just a moment. But here's the catch, we're not stopping there. We're also diving into the possibility that maybe, just maybe, they're only sticking around because it's convenient or because you're being nice to them. What if one day they decide to walk away? This isn't easy to face, but you have to be prepared for all scenarios. As our Stoic friend Seneca once said, luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. In relationships, just like in life, it's essential to be ready for both the highs and the lows. We'll cover everything, from why they might truly love you yet act distant, to the hard truth of whether they're only staying out of comfort. So, let's dive in and equip ourselves with the strength and clarity we need to face whatever comes next. But first, let me tell you something. No matter where they stand, the one thing we can control is ourselves, not them. And that's exactly where Stoicism steps in to save us. We're going to break down every angle, and this lesson is something you don't want to miss. So stay tight. Who knows? This insight could be the game changer that helps you reclaim your peace and power. And remember, no matter how hard things get, you have to stand strong. This lesson isn't here to hurt your feelings. It's here to remind you of your strength and resilience. So affirm with me, I stand strong. Drop it in the comments to declare that no matter what happens, you're grounded, unshakable, and committed to valuing yourself above all else. Let this be your reminder that you hold the power to face anything that comes your way. So, why are they ignoring you if they truly love you? Let's look at 3 possible reasons. Number 1, they express love differently than you expect. All right, folks, buckle up, because the first reason they might be ignoring you, even if they genuinely care, might just blow your mind. It all comes down to one crucial thing. They express love in a completely different way than you expect. Yup, love languages are real, and they can make all the difference when it comes to how affection is shown. You might be craving constant communication, daily texts, or tons of quality time, but for them, love might look a whole lot quieter and subtler. It's not about texting you 24/7, it's about showing up when it counts. Picture this. You send them a heartfelt message sharing something that made you happy or upset, and hours go by without a single reply. In your mind, this feels like a red flag, like they don't care enough to even respond. But hold up. What if this silence doesn't mean indifference? What if, for them, showing love doesn't revolve around constant messages or verbal reassurance? Maybe they value in-person connections, or maybe they're just more comfortable expressing their feelings through actions rather than words. This isn't just an isolated incident. In fact, it's super common. One woman on an online forum shared how her boyfriend hardly ever replied to her texts. She was convinced it was a sign of him losing interest, until she realized he preferred face-to-face conversations over digital ones. His way of showing love. Small, thoughtful gestures, like bringing her favorite coffee or fixing things around the house. She had been interpreting his silence as a lack of care, when, in reality, he was doing exactly what he knew how to do to show affection. It's like trying to communicate with someone who speaks a different language. Imagine you're speaking English and they're speaking French, without any translation. They're showing love through their actions, but you're waiting for them to speak your language. Words of affirmation, frequent updates, emotional check-ins. The gap between your expectations and their way of showing affection can lead to some serious tension. But here's the twist. This disconnect can be healed. It all starts with understanding that love isn't a one-size-fits-all thing. Think of it like this. Some people's love is like a delicate plant that needs constant nurturing, watering, and care. They want daily reassurance, constant communication, and lots of attention. Others are more like cacti, low maintenance, but still deeply rooted and strong. They might not need frequent attention, but they have a quiet, resilient love that thrives in its own unique way. Just because they don't shower you with constant affection doesn't mean they don't care. They're simply operating on a different wavelength. Now, I'm not saying this solves everything. If someone's love language is so different from yours that you feel constantly unfulfilled, then that's a bigger issue. Research shows that mismatched communication styles can cause frustration and even drive partners apart if neither is willing to adjust. But here's the golden nugget. If you believe in your relationship and trust the foundation you've built, you can absolutely find a way to bridge this gap. It takes patience, compromise, and a whole lot of understanding, but you've got to communicate your own needs too. If their actions aren't lining up with your emotional needs, it's important to have those tough conversations. But also remember, it takes time for people to learn and grow together. And let's be real, if someone truly loves you, they'll eventually meet you halfway. They'll start noticing the little things that make you feel special, and they'll go out of their way to make sure you feel valued. But if that's not happening, it might be a sign that something else is at play. So, as we dive deeper into this journey of understanding, keep in mind, love is not just about grand gestures or constant communication. It's about how they show up for you in their own way. Now, let's move on to the next reason why they might be pulling away. Number 2. They fear losing their independence. All right, let's get into this. Because the second reason they might be pulling away, even if they care about you deeply, is all about their fear of losing their independence. Now, hold on before you start thinking it's a red flag. This isn't about them not loving you. In fact, it's often the opposite. It's about finding that delicate balance between being in a relationship and still holding on to the parts of themselves that make them who they are. Think of their independence like a rare gem they've spent years protecting. They've shaped their life in a way that gives them space to breathe, make their own decisions, and pursue their individual dreams. Now, suddenly, love enters the picture, and as much as they want it, they're terrified of losing the very thing they've worked so hard to maintain, their freedom. It's like they're standing at the edge of a cliff, looking down at the possibility of love, but afraid to take the leap because they fear being swallowed up by it. It's not that they don't want to be with you, it's that they don't want to lose themselves in the process. This fear of losing independence is super common, especially for people who have been on their own for a long time or have had past relationships where they felt controlled, suffocated, or overlooked. They might feel like their identity is in jeopardy when things get too close, or they fear that a deeper commitment could mean sacrificing the freedom they've enjoyed. It's a tricky dynamic, and it can make them appear distant or aloof when in reality it's a defense mechanism at play. But here's the twist. If someone truly loves you, they will find ways to create room for you in their life without feeling like they're sacrificing who they are. True love doesn't require erasing their individuality. It integrates the two worlds together, where both people can still be whole, independent beings while growing together as a couple. So if their fear of losing themselves is pulling them back, it's not necessarily a deal-breaker. It's just part of the journey of navigating the balance between closeness and personal space. And here's where it gets real. This isn't about changing them or trying to convince them that they're wrong. Stoicism teaches us the power of focusing on what we can control, and you can't control their fear of commitment or their need for space. But what you can control is your own sense of self-worth. As the Stoic philosopher Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." So while they're grappling with this internal struggle, you've got to stay grounded in who you are. Strengthen your own sense of independence, your passions, and your boundaries, because that's what will make you magnetic. Sometimes giving them the space they need to work through their fear can be the key to unlocking a more open, honest connection. But if they're not willing to take small steps toward letting you in, even just a little bit, then you need to ask yourself, is this relationship really working for me? Their fear isn't a reflection of your worth, it's a reflection of their own struggle with balancing love and independence. All right, now we're nearing the finish line, and you don't want to miss what's coming next. Because in the next segment, we're diving into that gut-wrenching fear that's been lurking in your mind. What if they're just not interested anymore? Stick with me, because we're about to address that and give you the clarity you've been looking for. Number 3, they're struggling with personal challenges. All right, here's the third reason why someone might be ignoring you, even when they truly care about you. They're struggling with personal challenges that have absolutely nothing to do with you. Life can hit us hard sometimes, and when people face internal battles or external pressures, they can unintentionally shut down. It's not because they want to push you away, it's because they're fighting their own storm and just trying to survive. When someone is going through a rough patch, even the most important relationships can temporarily take a back seat. Imagine them as a sailor in the middle of a violent storm, struggling to keep the ship afloat. The winds of stress, anxiety, self-doubt and fear are battering them, and in survival mode, they're just trying to stay afloat. For some, even the act of expressing love can feel overwhelming during these times. It's like adding another weight to their already heavy load. The last thing they want is to burden you with their struggles, so they retreat inward, even if they don't want to. Instead of taking their distance personally, try to see it through a different lens. This isn't about you, it's about their internal chaos. This space they're creating is like a temporary retreat while they gather their strength and battle whatever storm they're facing. There's a real-life example that illustrates this perfectly. One woman shared how her partner pulled away after losing his job. He stopped calling as much, seemed distracted, and was barely communicative. She started to worry he was losing interest, but when they finally talked, he revealed that he had been feeling deeply ashamed and overwhelmed, struggling to rebuild his confidence. His withdrawal wasn't a sign of fading love. It was a sign of him grappling with his own personal demons. By understanding that his silence was a result of his inner turmoil, she was able to offer him the space he needed to heal without taking it personally. When someone retreats, it's easy to think it's a reflection of our worth. but sometimes it's just a person dealing with their own internal struggle. Think of their silence as a wave pulling back before it surges forward again. Sometimes they just need to gather their strength and find their footing before they can show up fully in the relationship. Your patience, compassion, and understanding can be the lighthouse guiding them back to shore. But here's the kicker. While you give them space, don't forget about your own worth. As the Stoic philosophers remind us, you can't control their internal battles, only your response to them. Epictetus once said, "Don't explain your philosophy, embody it." In other words, while they're going through their struggle, focus on your own life and well-being. Be there when they're ready to reach out, but keep moving forward with your own goals and personal growth. It's about finding that balance, being a pillar of support without losing your own sense of self in the process. So, as we move forward, let's dive into the next reason why someone might be ignoring you, even if they genuinely care. It's a tough one, but trust me, you'll want to hear this because it's all about the deep fears that can drive people to shut down. Stay tuned. You won't want to miss this. Sign number 1. The unavailability isn't due to busyness. It's a lack of interest. Here's the hard truth. If someone truly loves you, they'll make an effort, even a small one, to share what's going on in their life, especially when times get tough. They won't keep everything to themselves because, in a healthy relationship, communication is key. It might not be a full-blown emotional dump, but there will be signs, glimpses or hints that you're still part of their world, even when they're struggling. If they're constantly distant and you have no idea what's going on with them, that's a red flag. It's a sign that maybe they're not as emotionally invested as you thought. Think about it. When someone is genuinely interested in you, they'll want you to be part of their journey, even if it's just a brief update or a hint about what's really happening in their life. But if they're giving you nothing but silence, well, it might be time to consider the possibility that they're not as committed to the relationship as you are. That's the cold, hard reality we sometimes have to face. It's tough, but here's where self-worth and boundaries come into play. Don't let their lack of communication drag you down. Yes, it's painful to feel ignored, but you can rise above it. You are not here to chase someone who isn't showing up for you. The truth is, their unavailability says more about them than it does about you. You deserve someone who values your presence and is willing to invest in building a deeper connection. So take this as a challenge. Don't let their lack of effort define how you see yourself. You are worthy of a love that's consistent, genuine, and willing to meet you halfway. If they're not showing up, it's time to shift your focus back to you. Don't wait for someone to value you. Start by valuing yourself first. By turning the situation inward, we embrace the philosophy of Stoicism. We cannot control their actions, but we can control our response. Let their inconsistency be a reminder of your own strength. You don't need to beg for someone's attention. Instead, create a life that makes them realize what they're missing, and if they can't see it, that's their loss, not yours. Feel empowered. Now let's dive deeper into the next insight that'll help you navigate these tricky relationship waters. Keep going with us, because the best is yet to come. Sign 2. Their actions rarely match their words. This one stings. But it's a truth that can't be ignored. When someone's actions rarely line up with their words, it's one of the most glaring signs that something is off. You've probably been there before, right? They tell you how much they care, how important you are to them, how committed they are to making it work. But when it comes time to show that commitment, their actions fall flat. It's like living in a world of promises that never materialize, and that's exhausting. Think about it. They tell you, "I'm here for you," but when you need them, they're nowhere to be found. Or they promise to spend more time with you, but something always comes up. Every time they make a promise and don't follow through, it's like another brick falls out of the foundation of trust. It's like they're dangling a carrot in front of you, giving you just enough hope to keep going, but never actually letting you take a bite. And over time, that inconsistency can leave you questioning everything. Do they really care? Am I just an option? Picture this. Someone tells you, "You mean the world to me," but they can't even pick up the phone when they said they would. Or they cancel plans without a second thought. It's like building a house out of promises, but never laying down the first brick. Eventually, you're left standing in a half-built structure, unsure if there's even a foundation to rely on. That's the painful reality of a relationship built on empty promises, and it can leave you feeling more alone than if they had said nothing at all. Let me share a story that nails this feeling. A guy was in a long-distance relationship with a woman who always told him how much she loved him and how they'd eventually be together. She even talked about moving closer to him and creating a future. But when the time came to take action, she always had an excuse. Over time, he realized her words were just a comfort for him, a way to keep him hanging on, while her actions told him a different story. Eventually, he had to face the truth. She wasn't really committed, and the relationship had become more about hope than reality. Here's the analogy. Think of words as the branches of a tree. They stretch out, offer shade, and seem like they're providing support. But without the roots, actions, those branches are just reaching for nothing. Actions are the roots. They anchor those promises and make them real. Without action, those words are just empty leaves in the wind. If someone truly loves you, their actions will reinforce their words, creating a solid foundation of trust. Without that alignment, you're left standing on unstable ground, constantly wondering if it will all fall apart. This is where Stoicism can guide you. Instead of clinging to the hope of what they say will happen, pay attention to what they're actually doing. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "If someone is able to show me that what I think or do is not right, I will happily change, for I seek the truth." This means accepting the reality of their actions, not the fantasy of their promises. If their actions tell you one thing, believe them. And stop holding on to the illusion that things will change if you just give it more time. So, if you've been struggling with the disconnect between what they say and what they do, remind yourself, words don't define me. Say it out loud, write it down, and drop it in the comments to declare your commitment to embracing the truth. This is more than just an affirmation. It's a reminder that you deserve consistency, honesty, and someone who shows up, not just talks a good game. If you're with us on this journey, drop "words don't define me" in the comments to let the world know that you are choosing truth over empty promises, embracing your own power, and demanding more than just sweet words. You're ready for someone who backs up their love with action. Now, let's keep going and uncover the next sign that will help you understand where you truly stand in this relationship. Stay with us. You won't want to miss it. Sign 3. They don't show interest in your life or goals. Here's a red flag that's hard to ignore. When someone doesn't show any genuine interest in your life or your goals, it speaks volumes about where they stand in the relationship. If they truly care, they'll want to know what drives you, what excites you, and what dreams you're chasing. They'll be the first to celebrate your wins, to ask questions that show they care about your passions, and to offer support when you're pursuing something that lights you up. But when you're met with indifference or apathy towards your ambitions, it's a sign that something isn't clicking, and they might not be as invested as they seem. Picture this. You share something meaningful with them. Maybe it's a new career goal, a creative project, or an exciting opportunity you're working toward. And instead of receiving the enthusiasm or encouragement you deserve, they shrug it off, change the subject, or worse, make a dismissive comment. Over time, that lack of interest starts to chip away at your self-esteem, making you feel invisible, as if your dreams and aspirations don't matter. It's as if you're pouring energy into something that isn't being reciprocated, and that's draining. In a healthy relationship, both partners lift each other up. They are each other's biggest cheerleaders, sharing in the excitement of personal victories and helping each other stay focused on their goals. But when someone shows no real interest in what you're passionate about, it's a clear indicator that their connection with you may be more about companionship than genuine, deep involvement in your life. I came across a powerful story in a relationship forum where a man started to notice that, despite him supporting his partner's career goals, she showed no interest in his. He'd often share his achievements or ambitions, but she'd brush them off as insignificant or quickly change the subject. It wasn't just a difference in personality, it was a lack of depth in the relationship. Eventually, he realized that for a connection to truly thrive, both partners need to be invested in each other's lives, and without that mutual support, the relationship felt hollow. He decided to step away and prioritize a relationship that valued his goals as much as hers. Think of your ambitions and goals as a plant in need of sunlight and water to grow. Without both, it struggles to thrive. In the same way, relationships need both support and encouragement to flourish. When someone truly loves you, they become the sunlight that nurtures your growth, offering warmth, support, and a genuine interest in seeing you succeed. If they're not willing to offer that, you're left in the dark, unable to bloom as you deserve. The power of self-worth and emotional fulfillment. This is where self-worth comes into play. When you find yourself in a relationship where your ambitions are being overlooked, it's crucial to remember that your dreams don't need validation from someone else to be worthy of pursuit. Stoicism teaches us that the key to peace lies in focusing on what we can control, and that includes our own growth and self-respect. As Epictetus wisely said, "Know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly." Your goals, your passions, and your journey are uniquely yours to follow. No one should diminish them or make you feel less for pursuing them, especially not someone who claims to care about you. If you're feeling overlooked, unappreciated, or unsupported, remind yourself of this. I don't need their approval. Say it, write it, and share it in the comments as a commitment to your own goals. This is your reminder that your dreams deserve to be pursued, whether or not they have their support. This affirmation isn't just for you, it's for everyone reading, to show that we don't need anyone else's validation to chase what makes us come alive. You are your own biggest cheerleader, and your ambitions are valuable, no matter who's paying attention. So if you're with us on this journey, drop "I don't need their approval" in the comments. Stand tall in your worth, embrace your aspirations, and take the reins of your own future. Now let's keep moving forward and explore the next sign that might reveal more about where you truly stand. Stay tuned, you won't want to miss it. Sign 4. They avoid future plans or commitments. Here's a powerful red flag that could reveal more about the state of your relationship. They avoid making future plans or commitments. This might sound like a small thing, but it's one of the clearest signs that someone might not be as serious about you as you are about them. When someone is truly invested in a relationship, they're excited to talk about the future. Whether it's planning your next vacation, talking about family gatherings, or discussing long-term goals, they'll want you to be a part of those visions. But if they constantly dodge discussions about the future or seem uncomfortable at the mention of anything long-term, it's a sign that they're not fully committed to building something lasting with you. Imagine bringing up a trip you've been dreaming of taking together or discussing plans for the next big holiday. Instead of excitement, you're met with hesitation, awkward silences, or a swift change of subject. It might start to feel like every time you mention something that involves a deeper connection, they shrink back, making excuses or brushing it off. This kind of behavior isn't just a one-off, it's a pattern, and over time it can leave you feeling uncertain and unimportant, questioning where you really stand in the relationship. Let me share a story from a relationship forum that perfectly illustrates this point. A woman shared that every time she tried to talk about their future, whether it was about moving in together or planning a vacation months down the line, her partner would brush it off or change the topic. She started to feel like she was the only one dreaming about their future, while he seemed to be stuck in the present. Eventually, she came to the painful realization that he wasn't invested in a long-term relationship with her. He enjoyed the now, but was unwilling to commit to the future. It wasn't just that he was avoiding these discussions, he was making it clear that his vision didn't include her. She walked away, deciding that she deserved someone who was eager to build a future with her. The metaphor of building together. Think of it like this: a relationship is like building a house. If both partners are committed, they'll lay down the bricks together, planning every step of the way. But when someone avoids discussions about the future, it's like showing up to the construction site empty-handed, expecting the other person to do all the work. Without mutual commitment, the foundation never gets built, and the relationship remains shaky at best. Here's where Stoicism offers some much-needed clarity. Instead of waiting around for them to change their mind or hoping they'll come around, you can focus on what you can control. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca wisely said, it is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. If someone is avoiding commitment, don't internalize it or think that you're somehow not enough. Their inability to make future plans isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a reflection of their own indecisiveness or fear. Protect your time and energy, and don't let yourself become stuck in a relationship that's going nowhere. Taking back your power. If you're finding yourself constantly waiting for them to take the next step, it's time to remind yourself, I rise above their drama. This affirmation isn't just a way to feel better, it's a declaration of your self-worth. You don't need to keep waiting for someone to make up their mind about you. You deserve someone who's ready to build a future, not someone who's afraid to plan beyond the present moment. Say it, write it down, and if you feel called to, drop it in the comments. I rise above their drama. This isn't just about you. It's a reminder for everyone that your time and emotional energy are too valuable to be spent on someone who won't invest in a future together. When you choose to stand in your power, you open the door for someone who's truly ready to create a meaningful, lasting partnership. Let's keep going and uncover the next sign that could reveal even more about where you truly stand in this relationship. Stay with us, because the next sign is something you won't want to miss. Sign 5. They don't make an effort to resolve conflicts. Let's talk about one of the most telling signs that someone might not be fully committed to the relationship. They don't make an effort to resolve conflicts. Now, it's important to note that disagreements are inevitable. They happen in every relationship. But here's the thing, conflicts don't have to tear you apart. In fact, when both partners are committed, they'll work through differences, communicate openly, and actively seek solutions. The problem arises when one partner refuses to engage, dismisses your feelings, or turns every conversation into a battleground. When someone isn't willing to work through issues, it's often a sign they're not invested in the relationship at a deeper level. Picture this. You try to address something that's been bothering you. Maybe it's something as simple as feeling ignored, or as serious as a recurring issue that's been eating away at your connection. Instead of addressing it head-on, they either shut down, get defensive, or try to deflect the conversation entirely. They might even turn the blame back on you, making you question whether you're overreacting. And as this pattern continues, you begin to feel unheard, dismissed, and emotionally abandoned. Over time, the tension builds, and you start to wonder if it's you or the relationship that's truly at fault. A healthy relationship isn't about avoiding conflict, it's about how you handle it. When someone truly cares, they're willing to engage in the hard conversations, offer genuine apologies when needed, and actively work to resolve issues. If they don't make that effort, they're choosing their own comfort and peace over the health of the relationship. It's like they're telling you, "I'm not willing to do the work to make this better." And that's a heavy message to bear. One powerful story shared by a woman on a relationship forum brings this point home. She shared how her partner would consistently stonewall her whenever she tried to discuss a problem. He would shut down, walk away, or outright dismiss her concerns. She felt emotionally abandoned, isolated in her own frustration. Over time, she realized that her emotional needs were being completely ignored, and she was the only one trying to fix things. She had to face the painful truth. A relationship with one-sided effort was never going to bring fulfillment. Eventually, she chose to prioritize her own peace and move on from a relationship that was stuck in emotional gridlock. The garden metaphor, conflict as weeds in the garden. Think of conflict resolution as tending to a garden. Issues, like weeds, are bound to pop up from time to time in any relationship. When both partners are invested, they pull out those weeds together, nurturing their connection to ensure the garden continues to thrive. But when one person refuses to participate in addressing those problems, those weeds grow unchecked, and before you know it, the relationship starts to wither. If left unresolved, the resentment begins to overshadow the love, and the relationship becomes a place of stagnation rather than growth. Stoic wisdom, focusing on what you can control. This is where Stoicism comes in, offering an empowering perspective. When someone won't put in the effort to resolve conflicts, remember this: I am the master of my own peace. You cannot control their actions, but you can control how you respond to them. As the Stoic philosopher Epictetus said, wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants. Likewise, peace doesn't come from resolving all conflicts perfectly. It comes from taking control of your own emotional state, regardless of how the other person behaves. Don't let their inability to engage drain you. Guard your own mental well-being, and don't let unresolved issues fester into something bigger than they need to be. Your peace is in your hands. Reclaiming your power. If you find yourself constantly trying to fix things while they avoid the hard conversations, remind yourself, I control my own peace. This is your personal affirmation to stand strong in your own emotional sovereignty. Say it, write it, and if it resonates with you, drop it in the comments. I control my own peace. You deserve to be in a relationship where both partners are equally invested in growth, communication, and resolution. If they aren't willing to do the work, don't be afraid to walk away and protect your own mental and emotional health. It's not just about solving problems together. It's about ensuring you both have the tools and willingness to face challenges as a team. Stay with us as we uncover the next sign that might just open your eyes even further about where you stand in the relationship. You won't want to miss it. Sign 6. They only reach out when it's convenient for them. Here it is, the final red flag that might reveal just how invested someone really is in the relationship. They only reach out when it's convenient for them. This is the classic move where they seem to pop in and out of your life, appearing only when it fits their schedule, moods, or when they need something from you. If you've been in this situation, you already know how hurtful it can be. A truly committed partner makes an effort consistently, not just when it's easy or comfortable. Relationships take work, and that work doesn't stop when one person's needs are met. Picture this. You've been there for them. You've carved out time for their calls, supported them through challenges, and shown up when it mattered. But when you're in need, whether it's for a little emotional support, a moment to vent, or just to share something meaningful, they suddenly become too busy. Then, out of nowhere, when things are calm and convenient for them, they reach out like nothing happened. No explanation, no apology for the distance. It's almost like they were only available when they were getting something out of the deal. This inconsistency can leave you feeling drained, unimportant, and undervalued. It's like being used for their convenience rather than being a true partner in a relationship. A powerful story shared on a relationship forum highlighted this exact issue. One woman described how her partner would disappear for days or weeks, only to reappear when he needed emotional support or favors. At first, she thought it was just a phase, but eventually she saw the pattern. His contact wasn't about caring, it was about convenience. He reached out only when it suited him, and that behavior left her questioning whether the relationship was truly balanced or if she was just filling a temporary role in his life. The two-way street of connection. Think of a relationship like a two-way street. True connection isn't about one person driving the car while the other sits in the passenger seat. It's about both people actively engaged in the journey, making the effort to reach out, listen, and care for each other along the way. But if someone is only showing up when it's convenient, it's like they're driving on the opposite lane, using you as a pit stop rather than a co-pilot. You deserve someone who makes an effort to travel that road with you, through thick and thin, not just when it's easy. Stoic wisdom. Prioritizing your own well-being. This is where Stoic philosophy offers a powerful lesson. Focus on what you can control, your own response, your own boundaries, and your own sense of self-worth. As Marcus Aurelius wisely said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." When someone's actions don't align with your needs, it's time to reclaim your power. You don't need to wait around for someone to prioritize you. You control your own emotional energy and well-being, and you deserve to spend that energy with people who respect and value you consistently, not just when it's convenient for them. If you're feeling neglected or undervalued, remind yourself, "I am better independent." It's not just an affirmation, it's a declaration of self-worth. Say it, write it, and if you're ready to reclaim your power, drop it in the comments. I am better independent. This affirmation isn't about them, it's about you. It's a commitment to honor your own needs and establish healthy boundaries that protect your emotional energy. Reclaiming your strength. At the end of the day, relationships are about mutual respect, effort, and genuine connection. If they can't offer that, it's time to stop waiting for their attention and invest in yourself instead. You are worthy of someone who shows up consistently, not just when it's easy for them. You deserve respect, honesty, and love that's not on their terms, but on yours. So, if you're with us on this journey, drop "I am better independent" in the comments to let us know you're choosing self-respect over inconsistency, standing tall in your worth, and embracing the strength to thrive on your own terms. Let this final sign serve as a reminder that you deserve a partner who's in it for the long haul, not just when it's convenient. Let's keep going as we continue to uncover more signs that reveal what's really going on in your relationship. Wrapping it up. All right, folks, let's bring this full circle. These signs aren't meant to discourage you. They're here to help you see your relationships for what they truly are, so you can make decisions that honor your worth. Relationships are about mutual respect, growth, and connection. When someone truly values you, their actions will reflect it. Not just in the easy moments, but also in the difficult ones. They'll be there for you consistently, through thick and thin, making you feel seen, heard, and loved. So, if any of these signs hit close to home, take it as a wake-up call to refocus on what matters most: your own growth, your own goals, and most importantly, your own peace of mind. You deserve someone who shows up for you not just when it's convenient, but when it really counts. If this video resonated with you, we'd love to know how valuable these insights were to you. Drop a number from 1 to 10 in the comments to let us know how this content impacted you. And if you haven't yet, hit that like button, subscribe for more empowering content, and share this video with someone who could use a reminder of their worth.